the top 8 teams of the tournament, into the quarterfinals. That's mind-blowing.
And now the real fun begins. If they win the match next week, I will be quite surprised and very happy. But wow.
Yeah, this just advancing itself into the bracket stage is an achievement that is like, I will be good already. If I was from France, I will be like, okay, we fulfill one of the biggest dreams that we ever had here, and now we will just play for fun. And if we advance further, then that's great, but this was the goal and we managed to make it somehow. So
just quickly before
really
we go
stuff.
to the Mappools showcase, just to quickly go over again the teams that we'll be going through. In Group A, we have the United States and Thailand. From Group B, we have Chile and France. From Group C, we have China and Indonesia. And from Group D, we have South Korea and the Philippines.
Alright, so
making the third.
And yes, as a matter of fact, as Deadbeat was saying, don't go just yet, because the Mappools showcase for the next week will be happening, well, quite soon.
Yep, as the Mappools showcase is about to begin, we will do a little bit of a really short recap into the matchups that we will have the next week, and it will be United States against the Philippines, Thailand against South Korea, Chile against Indonesia, and China against France. So those will be the 4 matches that we will see next weekend. This time around there are only 8 teams, as we don't have a round of 16. So stay tuned for that. In any case, we'll have the Mappools showcase in just a couple of minutes. Hopefully I will be joined by another commentator. If not, well, I guess we will just running as we are right now.
Alright, well, I shall see you next week, and I'll leave you with the pro commentators for the next Mappools. Alright, see ya!
Alright, man, it was a pleasure, and hopefully we'll comment together next weekend.
Well, I'm sure we can do that.
It might be doable. We'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see.
But goodbye, Mr. Bond.
Man.
It's been done too many times. Nah, just kidding, just do it again.
So I guess we are ready to start with the Mappools showcase then. And we should be good to go. Who wants to introduce the first one? You want to take it?
Yeah, sure. Because I'll most likely introduce the tiebreaker too.
Alright, that's fine for me.
Alright, so for the first map, we have from Pope Gadget, Rob Zombie, what lurks in Channel X. So we picked this as a technical mix map, and this map runs at 180 BPM, and mostly it is dense chord streaming at 118 BPM 1/4s or 236 BPM 1/2s. This map is mainly consistency on rhythm for the most part, and fun fact, this whole map revolves around 180 BPM 1/4s. As you can see, there are some... Yes?
I was going to say, I actually heard something interesting about this from Kamikaze, because he was talking about the fact that this was put at the top of the list. And he was saying because Rob Zombie uses this song a lot when he opens concerts. Which I thought was quite interesting.
Yeah, definitely.
When you look at it like that, it kind of makes sense for this to be the opening act to our showcase.
So you can see that there is some slight SV bumps that might affect accuracy, and the combination of and the complexity of the LN and single note patterns are pretty much the main contribution to difficulty. So another fun fact for this will be the second fastest map in the pool, running at BPM of 236. this was submitted by Pope Gadget at January 9, 2017. He actually made this for the Mania World Cup, it seems. So this will be one of the technical mix picks we have for the map pool here. So Juan, do you have anything to say about this?
Well, I mean, usually we always see like the maps from Pope Gadget are usually the more complex ones, as his mapping is kind of, I would say that he maps targeting to be part of the map pools of Warcraft, and that's a pretty cool thing. The SB bumps, as you mentioned, are definitely a thing to watch out, but in general it's just the patterning itself, I believe. It's like a really complete bitmap in a lot of aspects, so that kind of challenges everything, and that's something cool, and I like that from the maps for Pope. But in any case, it seems like we're about to start with the second selection right now, and it will be Milky Way. It's a map by XPU, and it's more of a mixed one. This is oriented into the long notes, and it has the standard 155 BPM. Not really that fast compared to the previous one, but it features some mini jacks, complex shield, in general, the long note usual patterns that we see into the 7 key. But in general, you just mostly have to watch out for the second part of the map, which gets pretty much the same as before, but in a harder version. This is also a pretty short one, 2 minutes and 5 seconds, and we might see it picked a little bit as a counter pick to some of the teams. I would imagine this being selected against teams like Friends. I mean, if you are Friends, you will pick this one as they are more confident into the long note abilities, but we shall see. This is actually Blocko's replay, I believe, right?
Yeah, this is Blocko's replay. I might just broke after you another one. I hope you don't mind. So, if I remember correctly, this will be a technical element pick by XQ actually. So this is actually quite an old ranked map here. So it is quite interesting to see that we have an old map coming back to the MWC here.
I mean, it's always good to see like the old maps coming back. We saw that on the Tiebreaker in the last map pool in the group stage, and it was a pretty fun map. So I'm totally up for old stuff as long as they are good as it was the last Tiebreaker. And this one looks pretty fun as well. So really good job there getting one of these old masterpieces. For the next one though, I believe it's your turn. Okay, I'm going to take it, no problem. This one is Esperides. As a lot of people know this beat map from Mania, Forky Mania, woohoo! But this is the speedy oriented pick, 200 BPM, mostly just stator patterning, in general quite simple, but the remarkable part of this one is the burst that it has, and it goes up to 300 BPM. Difficulty in general just ramps up halfway through the map, and you have to be pretty careful as the burst turns from 1.6 into 1.8 in some parts, especially into the ending. Besides that, it's just in general a pretty consistent beat map. You don't have to watch out for much more than that. In general, this might be picked quite a lot. I believe 200 BPM is like a standard one, and the length of 1 minute and 51 seconds is also pretty standard. I will imagine this one as being a common pick unless you are really slow. Might be the case to be banned in that aspect. But otherwise, I see this one being one of the most popular ones out there. But as you can see, like around here you see those stair bursts that are a little bit faster than what some people can handle, but patterning wise it's not that complex.
Yeah, this will be the only scene map in this battle somehow, and another fun type of this will be that there is actually no sound effects map here. Ooh, spoilers!
Oh my god.
Alright, seems like we are approaching the next map here. I think I'm going to introduce this one.
If you want, no problem for me. So you're going to take it.
For the next map, we have Pingle from Reiko Sakai here. We picked this as a consistency LN. And so for this map, it will be the longest map in the pool. Yes, including a tiebreaker, it will be longer than the tiebreaker. I'm sorry if my mic is too soft. I think one you can take over this for now.
No problem. You can go ahead and try to fix it. As Evening was mentioning though, this is mostly a consistency-oriented pick, but it features a lot of long notes. This is like the Ikinai borderline of rounds of 8, like of quarterfinals. Pretty popular ban, I will assume. This one is one of the harder ones. Complex LN usage in general, a lot of shields, and it also combines some mini jacks and light core streaming. So it has a little bit of everything. The SBs are somehow not that difficult, but it could probably get some players if they are not really used to. And as he mentioned, this map is one of the longer ones, if not the longest one. I think it's even longer than the tiebreaker. So training this will take a lot more time, and the BPM being low as it is, getting accuracy on it will also be quite a challenge. So I expect this one to be banned frequently enough, especially from the low tier teams, like for example, like I will say Indonesia maybe, or France, but usually all the teams right here are good enough to hold this, but you better want to go for the easier consistency peaks. You really want to go for an accuracy battle. In any case, as you see, patterning wise, it's really tricky, mostly due to the long notes. Beside that, so far it is complicated enough to trip most of the players, I believe, but it's mostly due to the long notes, like the coordination required between both hands. Oh, those releases are pretty tricky though. Yeah, the SVs are kind of hard to get accuracy on it, but they are not quite challenging when it comes to combo holding. Might very well be the case, and with Score V2 you overhold one of the long notes and end up causing a drop, but they flow quite well, so accuracy drops might be a thing. I don't believe we'll see a lot of breaks. A bit of a slow jump over there as well, not a problem. And there you go, it gets a little bit denser into this section, and the SVs are a little bit more brutal, as you can see. Yeah, the releases are quite tricky, but at least this time around you have them split a little bit between both hands, but as you see, they just get complex and complex, as it forces your right hand, especially your ring finger, to do some weird stuff over there, holding and releasing with different... Oh, that was a break from either just at the end. What an unfortunate one. In any case, that seems to be closing the number 4 map that we have into this Mappools showcase.
Alright, I'm back.
Welcome
Oh
back.
my god, I can hear him. What sorcery is this?
Suddenly, my voice is 10 times louder. That's great.
Congratulations, Twitch chat. Your Ugus have saved our evening.
Thanks a lot.
We commend you.
Well, now that you're back, you can pretty much introduce the next one.
So the next one is Limbo, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Alright, so for the next map we have the Limbo from Rumi. This one is a MX, so we picked this as a technical mixed. This is a hybrid type map, and patterns in this map are generally quite safe, though there are definitely difficulty spike progressions at the chorus later on. Now 20% in, we have quite a bit of odd finger switches during the jacks, as you can see. All of these jacks have weird fingering changes during them, so it is quite easy for them to misplace their fingering and press the wrong key.
Yeah, causing a break.
Yeah, definitely. So
Yeah, I can definitely see that.
yes. So for this map, it will be somewhat in the mid-range difficulty, I believe. And for the chorus, there will be a lot of patterns to deal with in quite a bit. So we will see a lot of patterns such as inverse shields, a lot more complex LN usage, and a little bit of brackets. And there will be a lot of LN streams. It's going to be pretty exciting to view those. So what do you think
Whoa.
about this map?
I'm currently
right now?
seeing the long nose streams and they are so nasty. Wow, I like it, but I can definitely see a lot of players dropping the ball over there,
Yeah,
especially with
definitely.
Scorby too.
Now the ending is going to be quite a surprise because there is going to be a 400 BPM 1/4 disconnected stairs at that point. So as you can see in a bit here, it'll be 400 BPM 1/4s, which is quite fast. We expected them to break quite a lot there.
Yeah, those disconnected stairs are definitely a problem if you are not confident enough in your like stream ability. Those are pretty fast. But in any case, that seems to be it for the Limbo, and we're going to move real slow into the next one. And of course, this is move real slow. That was the joke, right? This is this is a simple
No.
SV pick. This is the easier one of the. I think there are two of them, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there are like 2 or 3.
Alright, this seems to be like the simpler one out of them. Not really much to go with this one. Pretty much, it's mostly slow jam usage, and not really complex beat and patterning in general. This says steady 170 BPM rhythm, so I would imagine that the main difficulty of this is right now, like so you can see on stream probably already, this 1/4s with the slow jam are pretty complex to time if you're not really used to it. You should be perfectly able to reel those slow jams if you are like a sound player, I don't know how, an audio player, but if you focus too much on visuals, that can definitely catch you off guard and get a lot of bad judgments.
So yeah, the one trick that a lot of players like to use during slow jams is to just view the bottom half of the playfield, so that the notes will appear and disappear at the same time than they would if there weren't any slow jams. So that's a trick that most people like to use if they know where the slow jams are.
Yeah, I do exactly that every time. I know that it's a slow jam that is quite long. Like, I remember your I Can Fly in the Universe for the finals tiebreaker of last year. There's like one section where you have a really big slow jam, and you pretty much have to watch really close to the judgment bar, to the hit bar. So you cannot read it in the same way, but of course, dropping the accuracy is still quite frequent if you're not really trained into that regard.
Yeah, definitely. Slow jam is definitely quite a unique skill to train up on. So we'll definitely see people try to ban this if they don't have enough players that can do this relatively well. So what do you think about the rest of the maps here? I think you can see them, right?
Well, I mean, the pool is looking good so far, and this one in particular is one that I don't really see being picked too often, but it's really good as a counter pick. I really like that.
Yeah, thanks. So, for the next pick here, we're going to go into Romancing Layer by Suwako. So this map will start off quite easy, use quite simple patterns in the intro, and it's going to ramp up a ton in the ending, especially at the 80% mark, where you will see a certain pattern that will throw a lot of players off. And this is a big reason on why players will try to ban this map, because if you mess up one note there, you mess up the whole section, and it's definitely going to drop a 990k score down to around 800k or 700k. It really depends on how badly you screw up there.
Oh, that's a really big choke, man.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's my replay, right? Isn't it?
Yep, this is yours.
Yeah, I remember choking on that 100% of the time.
Well, I mean, to be fair, in Scorby 2 it will probably be a lot more punishing than in just normal score. So we might wait and see what are you really talking about. But judging just by the score you got, I can definitely see being a huge trouble.
Oh yeah,
definitely.
Score V2. Score V2 LNNs count, but they fixed it such that LN and LNNs count half the HP drain. So it is still failable, but not too failable compared to the previous Score V2 revisions.
Wow, I'm seeing it. Wow, this long no section, that was tricky. This seems to be really mind-blockable though.
It is quite hard. This is supposed to be like a wild card for those who are experienced in LNs, such as O2 Jam players. So we'll see some teams try to pick this.
Alright, seems like that should be it for the O2 Jam map of the pool. And now we're going for Reverb, which is the next one here. This is a map by Richard Feather, and this is a consistency type. This is generally tame in terms of patterning and speed, I will argue. It's 158 BPM, it's not really that fast, so you know, you have to just watch out for a short burst and short long no patterns through all the map. Mainly just staircase oriented, so they are not really that uncomfortable to hit, but it can definitely get you, if you're not focused enough, it can get your accuracy a little bit. The most important part about this one will likely be the mini jacks right before one of the LN section into the 20%, like we're just about to see. I'm not sure if we saw it because I was reading some notes. I was not really paying too much attention to the beat map, but if not, you will probably see it quite soon.
So this is going to be one of the longest maps here by Richard Feather. It's going to be 3 minutes and a half. So it's going to be quite a consistency map here. You can see a lot of bursts coming at different snaps, and we'll see that there's a lot of these weird snapping. So accuracy will take a tank if they don't concentrate enough to kind of counter these weird snaps.
Yeah, the weird snaps was definitely a problem over there, but I can see it's mostly just a reading thing, because the rhythms are not fast enough to really drop the accuracy if you read the pattern correctly, I'd imagine. But yeah, you need to be cautious.
So we could have put this as a speed map, but this runs a long time. So this will be, I think this is the second longest map. I think the Tiebreaker is slightly longer than this, but yeah, I think this falls into the consistency compartment rather than anything else like speed or LNs or hybrid technical.
It's actually longer than Tiebreaker, yeah.
Oh, great. So what do you think about this map so far, Juan?
I mean, I believe this one is also likely going to be avoided due to the length, honestly. But it's not really that long, but it's long enough to just not really worry too much. I will believe that people, instead of this, might just go for Hesperides or like I think it was Milky Way, who was like kind of like this. It has a lot more long notes, but in general, I think this is like a safe pick for the higher end players, but I think there are more unique stuff that we will see more often unless it just gets banned. Like the SV pick is looking really good for a counter pick. The Limbo seems pretty good for a long note pick if you want to counter as well. This just looks like your average consistency one, and I just see this one to be selected in the, like, if you're starting to run out of picks, because I don't really see this one being banned too often. It's one of those that you really want to avoid.
Yeah, I think this is going to be banned actually. So, well, there's a lot of maps that you can ban here for, I mean, to consider for bans here. Like, you know, we covered move real slow. I think that's a really mind-blockable map. Or if you don't have the capabilities of handling slow jams, I think this is going to be a big problem.
Alright, so we have the next one. That's yours.
Alright, so we have Yuzu Hyori Itai by Archer Love. So this will be the easier LM picks here. And fun fact, this has a higher SR difficulty, but the level 25 here is harder than the level 27 due to star rating inaccuracy. This is mostly because of the LN usage here. A lot of LN usage here would include a lot of overlaps and make everything quite complex in terms of reading and control. So 20% in the map, you'll see the difficulty starts to ramp up, and a lot of rhythmic combinations with the LN and single notes makes it really hard to read and time. And soon you'll see there will be an SV slow jam on 0.85 times speed, but this won't pose much of a problem since it is of an easier pattern.
I think the tricky thing about this are usually the releases more than anything.
Yeah, definitely.
But those kind of like slow jam SVs, I mean, they are like, they have a name, but I always forget them. They're like bumps or ups. I don't remember the names.
We'll just say it's bumps, and I think you saw like a lot of SV gimmicks, which makes it really, really hard to sight read perfectly. So we'll definitely see a lot of practice on this.
Well, speaking about gimmicks though, the next map is interesting to say the least. We have Doppelganger. This is your difficulty, I believe, right?
Yes.
Really nice. This is the SV map, of course. Everyone who knows the map and the song should know that. Really, really risky pick, but risky pick, high reward, right? Fast BPM and a lot of SV changes in general. Not only that, you also have to give long nose on top of that. So interesting pick, and I see this one being selected quite a lot, but I expect this to be banned even more than that. Like if it's not banned, it's going to be picked. That's the type of map that this is.
Yeah, so this will be the second SV pick here. I think this is quite easy to memorize or quite easy to practice, since the rhythm here is quite easy to learn. Since most of the tricky SVs land on the more important rhythms and the accented instrumentals in the music, so it's quite memorable for the SV compartment.
This is definitely a map that's really fun to watch, but I would not want to play this.
No, it's so fun.
But like, I
It
can't
really is.
play SVs. As someone who can't play SVs, I would not want to play something like this.
Well, let's put it this way, you're gonna watch people play it, so it's gonna be fun.
Oh yeah, like watching people play this stuff is so much more fun than actually playing it. That's
Yeah,
one of the
this
great
looks a
things
lot
about
of fun.
you always want people to pick the map they're not gonna pick. That's also the
know.
problem with being a commentator. You never get to see the map you want picked.
Unfortunately.
Unless you're also the captain of the team you're commenting.
Ah, picked being a captain.
I mean, I could do that. If I like a map, I can make it work.
Just like ignore the like wisdom of your team. It's like, nah.
Yeah, team strategy,
we're gonna
what's
play this
that?
anyway.
Nah, we're going to play this. Oh, the Kamikaze actually full combo this? Nice.
You should have cursed.
Sadly, one's powers of cursing does not work through pre-recorded replays.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Maybe one day.
Oh no, is that a pun?
Maybe?
It sounds like a pun, yes.
That pun. Anyways, it's your turn to send the next one.
That fun. Uh-oh. Alright, so for the next one, we have X-Dad from Joel. So this will be a technical pick. It's very BMS oriented. And the hardest thing about this map would be trying to control a certain BPM here. Most of the rhythms here revolve around 145 1/4s. So if you manage to nail this rhythm, I think you can do well in this map. But the hardest thing about this would be the mini jacks. It is quite easy to mind block according to what I've done or what I've played of this map. I didn't really get to make a replay for this because I got so frustrated that I didn't bother to play it after like 10 plays. It gets really frustrating. But nonetheless, I think this is quite an interesting BMS style patterning. It is quite fun. I recommend you playing it, and I recommend everyone playing it actually.
To get tilted as you did.
Yes.
Well, the
Suffer with
interesting
me.
part about this, though, are the mini jack usage. Like, not only that, you also had like some sort of mini jacks into left and right finger. So that is definitely one thing that I'm not prepared for it at all. As a 4K player more than anything, but in general, I believe that ring finger jacking is one of the harder things to master in this key mod. But overall, it seems like a really structured beat map as usual from BMS, kinda symmetrical.
Yeah, the patterning is quite lenient and quite comfortable, but the biggest problem would be like mind blocking these mini jacks. Since you kind of foresee these mini jacks happening, you kind of mind block them early on. I think that will be the biggest problem, would be like over practicing it.
Oh man, if that happened to me so many times on the 4K World Cup.
Well, we structured this whole map such that you would want to ban everything, so I think this is going well. I think it's going well.
Oh, definitely.
That is
Like
such
that-
a cruel, sadistic thing to do.
But it's fine. It's right. You have to do that in tournaments. You need to make everyone feel like they are not good enough. So they have to prove that they are better than what they actually are. I like that. But in any
There's
case,
two kind of maps like this. The map selectors who pick fun, enjoyable maps that the players will enjoy. In this evening in Kamikaze, you're like, nah.
That's lame,
No,
right?
we're gonna give you maps that you don't want.
But hey, if you want something that is like that I expect to be picked quite frequently, is this one. This next one is Soranos and Ritsu, the Melody of the Cosmos. This is a map by Arquinoli Virus. This features mostly consistency, and it is running at 186 BPM, so a little bit faster than the previous consistency picks that we saw. A little bit of light core streaming as well, as you saw in the intro, but in general, this is just consistency. If you're able to keep up accuracy in 1-2 rhythms at this BPM, you should be fine. Just watch out for the Ki sections and the intros with the core streaming. But that's pretty much just it. There's not much things to be said about this one, and I expect this to be like the most popular one. And TV size for the win.
TV size. Well, it's an OP cut, so it's not a TV size.
Close
Fun
enough.
fact, this is actually the longest metadata of the pool. Wow, that's pretty fun.
I can't believe that I pronounced it quite well, I think.
Oh yeah, that was pretty decent. But yeah, as you said, I expect this to be the most picked out of all of these maps. Second would be, I think, What Lurks on Channel X.
That sounds reasonable.
Alright, so we have the next pick from Jinjin, MTU Promise. So this seemingly feels like a really easy map, but is actually one of the hardest LM pick here in this whole pool. It's tricking you that it's pretty easy, but it actually runs at 200 BPM, and all of these LNs keep on overlapping, making it really difficult for everyone to keep up. All of these inverses and all of these shields makes it really difficult to read and time properly. And if you take into consideration score V2 LNNs, you'll see that it becomes really difficult for them to get anything above 99.5. I would expect the highest would be 99.99, because this is just ridiculously hard to time. I'll
say
very surprised.
99.2.
Oh really? You want to bet?
Oh, we could. Oh man,
Alright.
those long notes. Oh man.
Yeah. It gets more intense by the second here. So this map contains a ton of chords, and the problem with hitting all these chords is that if you hit it too hard, you release another LN and you break the combo. So make sure to actually hit it lighter. I think that's a fair tip here.
Yeah, but just this reverse patterning in general, the usage, it's so focused on one-hand coordination. Really one of the harder ones, as you mentioned. It might be like the ninja hard selection.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be picked by those who are proficient in LNs, such as like the China team. I think they're really good at LNs. I think they are the top team for the LNs, next to Korea, I think. They are really efficient in LNs, so I'd expect them to have a really good time playing this map.
Yeah, I would imagine this one being banned a lot though.
Oh yeah, it's definitely the hardest LN pick, and not a lot of people like LNs. Maybe I'll get bashed for that.
What did you say, man? Lognos are cool, man. What's wrong with them? Lognos are like the best thing ever. But in any case, I'm going to let you feature the tiebreaker because I feel you deserve it, man.
Right.
Tiebreaker hype!
Tiebreaker.
Chelsea gets people. And
So-
you're wrong.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure everyone got it wrong. I don't think anyone guessed this. So for tiebreaker, we have Real Wave. This is from Cappuccino, which is one of the players in this tournament, I think.
Yep.
Yeah, that's great. So for tiebreaker, it is more of a hybrid map. I mean, we try to keep it as equal as possible in terms of all in terms of testing all of the aspects in Mania. So we have LNs, we have complicated SVs. No, actually not complicated SVs, like complicated LN and single node combinations. And everything just clumps together to make such a difficult map. This map, the thing about this map is that it keeps on going and keeps on getting harder by the second there, and it peaks out at the end with the hardest LN combination right there, which makes it really hard to time. I'd expect the highest score would be around 98, 97. This is just ridiculous to play. So what do you think about this one?
Well, unless you're an Ator, you probably won't be able to score really nicely on this one. This is challenging in every single aspect for what I can see right here. Longnose makes your stuff a lot difficult than what it actually is, and it features just everything really that a Tiebreaker need. I really like the song choice as well, but that's just personal taste.
Well, real, so I guess you like real then. Well, so like as I said, I think the LN complexity, I think you can see that keeps on ramping up, and all of these LNs from the first chorus will kind of carry over to the second chorus, where Cappuccino, the mapper, adds on mini jacks, which makes it 10 times harder to, not accidentally release all of these LNs at once, and makes it so much harder to time well. I mean, considering score V2 penalizes you for doing 300s, normal 300s, well, you'll see a lot of accuracy drops and combo drops in this map. And this is pretty much what we're going for as a tiebreaker. We want people to keep on dropping their combo and losing their accuracy. I think it's a nice pick from us. What do you think?
I have no idea. I'm a menu player, sorry. I can't just say one thing. They do look fun to watch.
Yes, it's definitely going to be fun to watch.
As a spectator, I'm going to enjoy this. As a player, I can't comment.
Well, as a player, I think this map is really just absolutely brutal. The stamina aspect in this, it just keeps on going. It doesn't really give you a break, and just the break lasts for around 5 seconds, which is not enough for most people here.
I'm actually not sure which map I want to see more. I'm kind of leaning towards Doppelganger, but what lurks in Channel X could be kind of fun to see as well. Just because it's something very different to what we normally see.
Yeah, it's pretty different of a song choice compared to like anime songs and C or something like that.
I mean, all of it's like Liu, Animu, Ugu World Cup.
Well, the previous pool was really anime oriented. We do not apologize for that.
Sorry, not sorry.
Definitely.
There seems to be like a universal thing, just sorry, not sorry. Like everyone instantly knows it. But yes, that will actually conclude the Mappools showcase, and with that, the weekend matches. We hope you enjoyed the group stage for the Mania Milky World Cup. Do you have any closing statements this evening?
Good luck. Yeah. And the next Mappool is gonna be as brutal or more brutal.
I love this, like, good luck, you'll need it. But yes, the schedule and map pool should all be available on the wiki in the next day or so. That shouldn't be too far away. And we should also have banners up shortly, so with that, I think we're done, and we will see you guys next weekend for the quarterfinals. Take care and have a good week.